The trenches are where SEC champions are built, and that's what Texas is striving to become. In this video, got On3 national analyst Sam Speigleman on to cover the Longhorns' most important trench targets for the 2025 cycle. But first, Texas fans, do me a favor right now. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We are growing this thing. We need you guys to be a part of it, so hit subscribe. All right, let's bring on Sam Speigleman. And Sam, we've identified some of the most intriguing names on Texas's board. Well, at least when it comes to the trenches, we're going to break that down. And of course, we're going to start on the offensive side of the ball with Michael Fasusi, the 6'5", 300-pound offensive tackle from Louisville High School. Now, he's the top target for offensive line coach Kyle Flood. Sam, it's early in his recruitment. Who do you identify as kind of the main teams involved?
Well, you started with Texas, and you have to bring up Oklahoma. Those are two teams that have been staples in Fasusi's recruitment since the beginning. A&M made a significant move after getting on campus last month. You can count Missouri in that group as well, and you have some national programs like Florida and Oregon that are still staying involved. But when it's all said and done, I expect this to be a battle between Oklahoma and Texas, and Kyle Flood and Bill Bedenbaugh going head-to-head for one of the best offensive tackles in the country.
Yeah, we're going to circle back to the offensive line, but specifically defensive line this cycle for Texas. Defensive line in the trenches is mightily important. And DJ Sanders goes 6'3", 290. He's from Belleville, Texas. And it seems a little quiet in his recruitment considering he's a top 25 player in the state. What do you know about Sanders? What's important to him when it comes to picking a school, and who do you think is involved here?
Well, you hit it right in the head. He's very quiet, very difficult to read. Everything you hear about this recruitment is from a source or someone close to the situation, very rarely from DJ himself. We know that the best defensive line coaches, some head coaches went through Belleville the last month. That includes Lincoln Riley, Steve Sarkisian, Mike Elko, and a lot of those assistant coaches as well. It seems to boil down to Texas or Texas A&M for a top 25 player in the state. The expectation is that he stays somewhere in the state. I think right now, I think the Aggies have an edge. He's local. He's an extreme priority for Mike Elko and his staff, but Texas is staying in alive, and they're going to push until the end.
All right, now we'll stay on that defensive line. And Gus Cordova out of Austin, Texas. He's 6'4", 250, had a monster junior season. We saw his recruitment blow up. Why is Baylor trending, though, on the recruiting prediction machine? And do you agree with that, or is Texas in the driver's seat here?
No, this recruitment is still taking shape. Like you mentioned, Josh, his recruitment really took off about middle of his junior season. And then after, when coaches hit the road, Lake Travis was a must stop for so many coaches, including head coaches and a lot of defensive line coaches. I think Oklahoma was the early team to beat in Cordova's recruitment. Mm-hmm. Now it's evened out. You have schools like Texas and Texas A&M. You have schools like USC and Oregon all getting involved. He's going to get back to Texas for their spring game next month. He lives just outside of Austin. He's a local guy, and I think Texas is sitting in a good spot after getting him on campus last month.
So when it comes to the defensive lineman we highlighted, do you think Texas sits in a better spot for Sanders or Cordova?
I think Cordova, kind of in the same boat. DJ Sanders lives just outside of College Station, just Gus Cordova in Lake Travis, just outside of Austin. I think they're both dialed in with the local schools, but more so with Cordova, still has a lot of national offers, a lot of national programs still heavily involved.
All right. Flipping back over to the offensive line, Dramodd Odoms, 6'6", 305 pounds out of Houston. He's an On3 top 100 prospect overall. Took a bunch of visits last month. Texas was one of them, A&M, Baylor as well. Who has Odoms' attention early on? Is it really just an in-state battle here?
Yeah, you could throw LSU into the mix as well, but he stayed in state with his visits last month. I think his recruitment is going to take a different shape as we delve a little bit later into the cycle. I think he's going to want to get out and see some more schools. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think Texas has some early momentum. There was a really big junior day in Austin last month for January 20th. Odoms met with Kyle Flood. We talked about the way that Flood is recruiting Fasusi. He also has his eyes on Odom, who fits a lot of those intriguing trait boxes, playing for a really talented program in there in Houston Lamar. I think Texas has early momentum, but Houston, A&M, LSU all stay involved right here.
All right. Now, we said some intriguing names we wanted to highlight, but there's one of them, and he's at the bottom of our list here. Byron Washington really intrigues me because he's almost 6'8", 400 pounds. He visited Austin last month. Massive frame, great power and strength. Does Texas lead here, and is he a priority?
Yeah, I think Texas has been the leader for a couple of months. You know, in addition to getting out to Austin, he made his way to College Station to check out the Aggies. He just had a teammate commit to A&M. He made his way to Baylor to check out the Bears and a lot of the new faces over there in Waco. But I think Kyle Flood has kind of built a strong foundation with Washington. You mentioned it, 6'7", 400 or so pounds. Kyle Flood has a reputation as Texas's O-line coach, is taking big-bodied guys in this, like Byron Washington, and reshaping their body and helping them develop their games along the way. And I think that that's something that hasn't been lost on Byron. I think Texas is the early favorite. My RPM is on the Longhorns. I put that in a couple of months ago, and to this day, I still think they're the team to beat.
All right, so to wrap this thing up, when can we start seeing some of these names come off the board?
Yeah, I think we will start to see a couple of spring commitments, maybe from a couple of these defensive linemen that are a little bit further along in the process, maybe a few offensive linemen, some maybe that we didn't mention. But I think things are really going to pick up when summer official visits begin. That's become one of the most eventful times of the year, with official visits in June and usually decisions soon after heading into senior season.
All right. Well, Sam Speigleman, thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop, talking Longhorn trench targets. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Thank you for watching this video. And if you enjoyed that, go check out the hundreds of videos that we have on this channel. And also, do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel.